everybody, this is Peggy for Cropstop.com, and today I have my helper with me, Diane. Wave at me, Diane. Hello. Hi. There she is. That's all you get to see of her. She's going to help me because I had some surgery on my hand, and we're going to make this card, and it's going to be too much fun. Here's what we're going to do. Let me bring that in a little closer for you. There is the card. Is that like too stinking cute or what? All right, let's show them what we're going to use, Miss Diane. We are going to use the embossing folder from Sizzix. That's the one that looks like the brick wall. Okay, and then we're going to use the die, which is from Poppy Stamp's Memory Box, and this is called the Grand Madison Window die cut. We're going to be using that. Some of the inks that we're going to use, my favorite, Memento, we're going to use that, and we're going to use two different distress stains. One's walnut stain, and the other one fired brick. We're going to be using those, and we'll use some foam applicators to apply that ink onto our little card front there. We're going to use, this is just a border punch from EK Success. Any border punch will work, and we just used it to scallop what looks like a curtain in our window. So we use that. For our adhesive, we're going to use the Glue Glider Pro, and that one's the purple one. So that's the one that goes either, you can go forward or backward depending on which way you put your your adhesive in there. A couple of the markers we're going to use, Memento marker, that's going to be the Cocoa Rich, and then we're going to use a Unibomb white pen. Any white pen you have would work, that just happens to be the one that we have. And let's see, I think the only other thing, we might at one point use Tim Holtz ruler, which is my favorite ruler, just because we like to draw some lines on our frame. Alright, well that's everything we're going to use. Let me clear some things off and make Diane get busy. Okay, we've got things set up here. Now what Diane's going to do is she's going to take some of the ink stain, the distress ink, on her applicator, and in a circle motion just go around and highlight. Now we went ahead and embossed this paper off camera because you don't need to watch her emboss it, and she's just going to rub it all over there just because we want to highlight the part that's embossed. We're going to use some of the walnut stain, and then we're going to bring in some of that red, which is the brick, what did we say it was called, fired brick red, and add some color just so it looks a little more like a brick wall. There you go, looking good, looking good. Alrighty. Then we're going to try some of that brick red on there. And remember, you want to start off your mat just like Diane did, and then you go in a circle motion. That way you don't get those lines and blops all over everything. Now, we left the paper a little bit larger. As always, remember, when you're embossing, before you emboss, you want to make sure the paper's a little bit smaller because obviously when it embosses, it brings your paper in a little bit. And if you were to shortchange yourself, it'd be too small. Now Diane's going to take the ink pad and she's just going to go right over the whole thing using the ink pad to paper technique just to highlight those lines of the bricks a little bit more. Can you see how that's bringing that in? Let me bring this in a little closer. Look at that. Oh man, that's looking good. Well, very nice. Alright, now what we're going to do is take this over to the paper trimmer and trim it down for the front of our card. We'll be right back. Well, now Diane has now trimmed down that piece that she went ahead and embossed and did her ink down to 4 by 5 1/4 because we're going to go ahead and adhere that to our card front. But what we want to do first is take some of that walnut ink stain, and we're just going to do the edges because I like to do my edges, and you're just going to do it right on there. Now I've heard some people say that they really don't use their distress inks in this fashion, but I want it to match, and I didn't like the way that the Cocoa Rich was a little bit too light. I wanted to keep that deeper walnutty look on the sides there. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to use our Pro Glider, and we're going to adhere that to the front of our card. That looks good. Now, we're just going to use the Pro Glider over here. Now remember, when you're doing a card, you don't have to do the whole line up like that. You can do little pieces here and there if you want to save your adhesive. I'm a little cheap, so I like to just do little squats here and there. There you go, perfect. And then she's just going to adhere that right on there. And there we go. There's our front. So now what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the Cuttlebug and we're going to do the window. So we'll be right back. Okay, Diane has gone ahead and used the walnut stain and stained the edges, and then we're going to draw little lines. If you can see those little tiny lines there, just for character, and we just used the Memento marker. So she'll go ahead and just show you she did those already. And then we are going to start on the curtain part. Well, now that we've got the window ready, now we're going to work on the curtain. So all Diane's going to do, she went ahead and used the Desert Sand Memento ink and kind of roughed up that because it was really a bright white and we don't want so much white. Then she's just going to use the border punch and do one edge of that piece. And I think we cut it 3 by 2.5. Just go ahead and measure whatever your window is so that you'll know the exact measurement for that. There we go. And then once she has that cut, then she's going to go ahead and adhere that to the green piece. And then we are going to stick that using foam tape on the back of our window. So go ahead and put your green on. You're right. But just put it across the bottom, Diane, because you're just going to adhere your green now. And then we're going to put foam tape all the way around the edges so that we get a 3D look in our curtain. Now, Diane was really smart and put a little tick mark there so she'd know right where to put that. Perfect. Now we're going to bring in the foam tape, and we're going to put that on the back, and we'll show you when we get that done. We'll be right back. We just wanted to show you how we went ahead and put foam tape all the way around the window. You see where the two greens, you put 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top, and 2 on each side. And that way we're going to get a 3D look when our curtain's in the window. So she's going to go ahead and peel those off, and then we're going to put our curtain on there. And we are almost finished with this card. Now this is one of those cards you've heard me say in the past. I would make sure to give this to somebody that would appreciate it. What I'm going to use with my card, and Diane's going to take this one home with her, I'm going to use mine actually in a journal book because I just thought it was too stinking cute. So there you are. If you'll hold that up here, Miss Diane, that looks beauteous. Very nice. Now we're going to go ahead and we'll put a little bit of foam tape on that cat. Now, I did the cat using my Cricut machine, and I used the cartridge Country Living, it's called. And I did this cat, believe it or not, 3.5 inches, and that's the size that I got. So, you know, you kind of have to play with it. I started out thinking, oh, it's only about 1 inch. Well, I don't understand how Cricut always figures out the sizes, but she said it was 3.5, so that's what we used, and it was perfect. So we're going to put a little piece of foam on the back of that cat and sit him so he looks like he's looking in the window. And then you're going to say, now, what in the world did she use that little white pen for? I gave the cat just this little teeny white eye. There you are. And there is our card thus far. Now all we have to do is put more foam tape on the back, stick that on our brick wall, and we are going to have a card. We'll be right back. Okay, once again, we went ahead and put foam tape on the 4 corners and 1 in the center, and Diane just has to put that in the center of her card base. And we will have a card. So what's really cool about this, I brought out some things I haven't used in a while. Voila! Let's get a good look at that card, and there it is. It's a card. Yay! We did it! This is Diane's first time being on video with me, so thank you, Diane. And make sure to stop over to Crop Stop now, because they've got everything that we used today. They've got at Crop Stop, and make sure to tell them that Peggy sent you. Have a great day. Bye!